Hi guys, today we're going to talk about last month's favourites, so April favourites. And then we will use them in a little painting of these geraniums as well so that you can kind of see them in action. So there's only a couple for this month. I haven't had, a lot of a chance to paint. So we're just kind of going through here. You can see January, February, March. And the funny thing is all of those have a lot more grounding colours, deeper colours, shadow colours. And this month there's just 5 or 6 colours. They're very bright and happy. So you can see there I just did a little pencil emblem and used pencil for the heading. And the colours, the first colour we swatched is Azalea from Nibs Watercolors, so I'll link all these below. The second one here is Peach Pop from a new shop, Little Reverie Studios, so gorgeous, gorgeous colour and super creamy and beautiful. And then the next one was the Holbein Composed Green, and this one is the Isaro Eternal Summit. And the one in the middle there is the Daniel Smith Fuchsite. I don't know, for some reason I think I might keep forgetting to turn the phone on, or I don't know, I lose some of the footage. But so you can see there's the 5 colours there, and then I also added the Nibs Watercolors Champagne Gold. So this colour, if you got the Valentine's edition, you'll have sort of collab between me and Nibs. You will have gotten this colour in there as well, and so you can use any gold watercolour though, and like Opera Rose or something like that. So you can see that some of these colours are fugitive, so they're not light fast, but I really love using them. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I really love this champagne gold. So it's kind of a pale gold, I would say. So if you have like the a gold gouache or something like that, you can use that as well, or the gold Winsor & Newton ink. And then the other mix that I'm doing here is just kind of a mix of the Fuchsite, this Eternal Summit, and the Composed Green, and then adding some champagne gold in, so kind of adding all those together. You can make up like a different version of the I guess all these colours if you add white to something that you have, so like white to the Schminke Cobalt, like a cobalt turquoise, or white to a green that you have, you'll get something similar to these colours. So to me this is a very happy spring sort of palette, and the addition of the like gold shimmer just really kind of helps to bring that the sunshine of the season. So I created this little sketch, and you can pause the video and kind of go over it, or just kind of follow along here. But it's just from a punnet of those hanging geraniums that you can get from like Home Depot or something like that. So what we're doing is we're starting with the Azalea, and again, like you can use an Opera Rose or a different pink that's more light fast if you prefer that. So you can see here that I am leaving some highlights, so I'm kind of painting out the shadow areas. And then in this one, so I used Azalea for the first one. This one I'm using Peach Pop, and then I'll drop some Azalea in around the sort of bunch of flowers. So here I'm using, I think it's Pyrrole Orange, it could be Organic Vermillion, just a really, really watered out wash of it, and I am just kind of using it to try and create a more muted colour here, and then I'll add some of the Peach Pop. Okay, so here I am using the Champagne Gold, and I'm just dropping it in kind of areas where I think either might be shadow areas, or just where I think there might be a nice sort of surprise light where you can kind of see that, but you can see here it's sort of mostly on the bottom lower right hand side. I've been really loving these colours now. I know that I really love these colours. They're not light fast, so again, if you want a more light fast version, it won't be sort of as bright as this. And I think one of the things that I have kind of come to this when we were making cakes a few years ago. The first time, so we started making cakes, and you can kind of see them on my blog. I'll link it below, but with a lot of frills, and we would spend quite a long time, rolling out the fondant, creating these flowers and frills, and really elaborate sort of cakes, dyeing the fondant and all this stuff. And it took a long time, and once the cake was done, and then I was just like, the very first time I was just gutted that the cake would just be gone in 20 minutes, and all this work was just I was sort of like, is it a waste or this or that? And it took me a little while to kind of come to terms with the fact that it all created a really nice experience and a memory for people. And so I think I've kind of brought that along to art. So I feel like over time the neon pigments will fade, but I also feel like they do bring a lot of happiness, and so I just like to use them for the meantime as well. So you can see here that I'm using the greens and the light blue, and mixing that all together to sort of create these very soft and pretty sort of a pastel arrangement here. And then I will add in some of the champagne gold again into to kind of tie it all together, and to add those sort of pops of sunshine through the artwork. Okay, so I am adding in some French ochre here, and then I also add Sedona on top of that. So I felt like this was a safe neutral to go with that would match the palette, but you could use any colour for the pot. So we have our first layer of watercolor, and it's not dry, so I'm trying to go in with some pencil here, and I'm just trying out a few different ones to see which one will work best if the paper is still a little bit wet. So the Colour Soft is what I'm using here, and I really enjoyed this. If you've watched the pencil series, I do really like these, and it seems to be working really well here on paper that's still a little bit wet. And then I also go in with the Caran d'Ache Super Colour Soft too. So they are also work really well on kind of activating, but you can use, you know, any pencils that you have or other art supplies, or you can just wait for it to dry and then glaze over the top with some more watercolor. So here I'm using the French Grey 10%, I think it's the luminance one, and you can see that it's just adding a soft shadow, so I'm not trying to bring any sort of bold, harsh colours here. I just want a nice soft spring palette, but still trying to create some of that depth just in a softer way. So once that's done, I am ready for the next layer, which is gold, the gold ink here. So this is my favourite Winsor & Newton gold ink, as many of you know, and so I've just got the dip pen. I am going over the word here, and then we will do a little bit into the painting as well. So by this time the painting is nearly dry, and you can see here that especially the Isaro one's taking quite a lot of time to dry on the, that's not watercolor paper, it's the Apica notebook, but yeah, so these are the colours kind of translated into a painting. And then I'm also going back in here with some just extra things before I finish it off. So I've got this, I think this is the Light Flesh, it's a really pretty peach colour from Polychromos, and I'm using that to bring in some of the colour of the flowers into the leaves. So I kind of put that in some shadow areas throughout the painting, and then we kind of finish it off with some gold ink here. So you'll see that I'm kind of putting in some outlines and some little veins with just kind of a whisper of the gold ink. So one of the things, I do have a video about this sketchbook, and one of the things about this cotton paper is the nibs do not really like the cotton paper very much. The cotton sort of gets caught, or the nib gets a little bit stuck on the cotton paper because it's cotton. But so it actually helps though when you're trying to sketch something like this and you're trying to be a little bit have a broken line, that actually can work in your favor. So for example, when I'm outlining, I'm not outlining the entire piece, if that makes sense. I'm just choosing pieces, and it's generally around the shadow area where I add a little bit of extra line, and I want that variation. I don't want it to be just one continuous line. So the next video I think we'll do is to finish off the pencil series. I know that some of you, you know, you're not here for pencils, so I understand that, but it was just easier for me to do those videos last week. So but we do have a couple of things to finish off, and I think you will enjoy this particularly. That this is a creating a color wheel, so, and sort of burnishing with the pencils. And then I just have a couple of clips here from Whole Foods and from Target to kind of show you some color inspiration from out in the wild. Like, even see the little rainbow on the ice cream cartons here, and how much that adds to the packaging and kind of attracts your eye. So you can see that I am finding these colours everywhere and just really enjoying it. You can see some colour inspiration even starting from these two bunches of flowers. So we got these just from Whole Foods. We had this vase, which, so basically for around $20, we have this really beautiful bouquet. So we used to have a lilac tree at our other house, but if you've guessed, we are not there anymore. But if you have trees that can create these beautiful blooms, I highly recommend them. So you can see that we did have some blossoms bloom out the front, so I did bring a few of those branches in. They were a little bit high to reach. So that's all for today, guys. I'll be back with my favourite coloured pencils, and we will finish off that sort of vista of New York, and then I will, we'll work on some other videos after that. So here I'm just going to leave you with a little bit of inspiration from Target.